Good evening. Sunday night, the 18th of April. Had to do a quick check then. I really should remember. It's the night after my lovely wife's birthday yesterday, so I should remember the date. Episode 33. Famous number 33 for me, the great Larry Bird. So let's throw him in there. Let's bring up Cuz. How are you, Cuz?
G'day, Az. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good to hear from you and see you again.
Yeah,
and
you too, mate. You too.
Let's bring Lovey on as well. How are you, Lovey?
How are we, boys?
Oh, have a look at you.
Good, mate. Got the sporting gear on, ready to roll.
Mate, only winners. Just win it. Just wearing the winner stuff, mate. That's all.
Yeah, I'm fair to say I'm a happy man at the moment. Both Melbourne Storm and the Demons flying, so we'll take it while we can.
It's a green old flag, hey?
Yes, absolutely. Who would have thought 5-0? Definitely wasn't on my radar, that's for sure.
No, not at all. What was it? Famous 33s?
Absolutely. Who's yours? Have you got one?
I've got three from basketball, actually. So Scottie Pippen.
Yep.
Abdul-Jabbar wore 33 for a little period.
Yep, absolutely.
And Patrick Ewing, another number 33. Arguably the greatest player not to win a championship ring for me, along with Charles Barkley.
Yep.
And then we've got, I guess locally, we've got Glenn Hawker, haven't we, Cuz?
Glenn Hawker, loved him. Both sides of the body. How good was he? Both sides of his body.
Mate, the biggest nose I've seen in football. Oh, fantastic.
Geez, you're going back a bit there. Haven't had a better 33 since.
You got Sugar Healy?
Yeah, Sugar Healy, the Wiz, Jeff Farmer. We've got a couple down there.
Yeah.
We've had a couple.
I don't think we've had a good 33 since Walker.
Oh, Braden Hams?
It will be. Little piggy. He'll be fine. Sign the bacon on too for another 2 years. Good.
We have. He does all right, the bacon. Good.
Yep. Happy with that.
What about Joe Danaher turned it on the other night, had his best performance disposal-wise. It's fantastic to see, isn't it? Just as he exits the club, he turns it on. It's always the way, isn't it, against his old club?
Look, I could be really immature. I could be really immature about this one, but yeah, look, good luck to the guy. He made his choice, made his decisions. I don't agree with them, but then at the same time, we've all made decisions that a lot of people don't like every now and again, so who cares? We move on.
Well, you handled that very, very politically, mate. Well done. Well,
yeah, I wasn't so political about 10 o'clock last night, mate, but that's okay.
Yes, it's a frustrating game, but I suppose when you're winning, you're happy. That's for sure. And we'll take it while we can at Melbourne. That's for sure. Just disappointing not to see more people there today. Hopefully,
what's going on there?
Hopefully Anzac Day. Well, it wasn't our home game, so Melbourne supporters don't tend to go to games that aren't theirs. They don't want to pay.
Haven't the plastic Hawthorn credit card supporters dropped off since?
Yeah, they're a little disappointing. But to be honest, it was the score was pretty flattering. Let's face it. There was nearly 10 goals in the end, but they kicked the 10 goals in about 15 minutes. So I think Hawthorn turned off the tap. But onwards to next week, and match of the week, no doubt, will be Melbourne-Richmond, which will be a ripper. So I can't wait for that. Our first chance to really...
chance, mate. You've got to be a chance.
Yeah, it's our best chance in years. So I'm always say we're gonna drop one now, and we're probably going to lose to North Melbourne. So in a couple of weeks. So if we could beat Richmond, I'd be wrapped with 6-0. But anyway, enough about sport. This isn't a sport gig tonight, even though we're all seem to miss the memo regarding sporting attire. This is the music session for us. And geez, we've been lucky with some special guests who we've had, and just that little clip we play at the start, compiling some of the guests we've had on. We're very blessed to have so many great musos in and around Melbourne and friends of ours, and no doubt another one coming up. So let's bring on Berkey. Good to have Berkey back.
Gentlemen, how are we going?
Good, mate.
Very good, mate.
That's great. My 33 has got to be the guy that did make a great decision, which is the Collingwood legend, David Cloak. He turned it on when he came over. He was a serviceable player for the Pies. He was about the last I remember. So I was going with Larry. I had that all week, so thanks for nothing.
Yes. Should have brought you in earlier.
We'll edit it out, mate, so you can say your name a bit for it first.
We only got him so he could get his sons, but anyway. Getting off the sport thing, parking the sport thing, guys, because I'm a Collingwood supporter, I don't want to know about it. So I changed over last year and got a Melbourne Victory season's ticket, so that's gone in the bin as well.
Going? Yeah, well done.
You're killing it.
You guys might not know this. I'm also a passionate Victory fan, and no, it's disgusting.
It's not good.
Absolutely disgusting. Sack the whole lot.
Quickly, sorry.
7-zip.
What just happened there? They're just falling off the radar.
Well, let's park that anyway, lads, because once again we've been blessed with another legend of Australia, Melbourne Australian music. It's just carrying on the fine tradition of this little show that could. And first seeing him with the band, the Idle Hose. And I saw him one night supporting Chuck Jenkins. We went there to see Chuck, and blown away by this guy just sitting there playing guitar, singing his songs. A phenomenal songwriter. And he went. We saw him with the Idle Hose, and then he left that band and started up Raised by Eagles. Had some massive success, won some arias, and now he's gone out on his own, and he's punching really way above his class. He's just a legend. Great songwriter, great guitar player, quadruple threat. He's a good-looking rooster as well, and plays the main guitar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on Luke Sinclair.
How are you, Luke? Great to have you on, mate.
Hey.
Good. Thanks for having me, and thank you, Berkey, for that introduction. No pressure.
You'll rise to it, mate. You'll rise to it.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
first of all, Luke, welcome to mate. Episode 33. It's a pretty special one. Lot to live up to, mate, with obviously sporting stars. We mentioned a few there, but you're definitely I've discovered you only in the last few years, to be perfectly honest, Luke, and through Berkey, actually. And I've absolutely loved what I've heard, mate, to be perfectly honest, and going back through the back catalogue now. And I said to Berkey not long ago that I really think right now you've absolutely hit your straps with what you're doing right now with your current band. So, boys, Cuz has actually been to one of your gigs, and Lovey is desperate to come to one of your next gigs. So we cannot wait to be there, mate. But thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks very much for having me, and yeah, it's really something to hear you say that, because this latest project of mine was really something I wasn't sure I was even going to do, but lockdown happened, and Raised by Eagles kind of, semi-imploded during that period, as did a lot of people and a lot of things, and a lot of friends that I have in the music business really found that to be a tough time. So, I really released this album as a mental health exercise more than anything else, because I just needed it. I needed to be doing something else that wasn't just that wasn't just working my day job and not being able to see anyone or get any energy back from playing live gigs. So this little project was born, and I couldn't be happier with the way it's gone down. And yeah, to hear you say things like that, to hear any people saying that it's that I seem like I'm sort of much more present when I'm playing the music, is beautiful to hear, because I wasn't sure how it was going to be received, and it could not have gone better. I've just sort of managed to find a bunch of great guys that have become really close friends of mine now, through asking them to play these songs with me, just so I could record them. And now we're doing all these gigs, and gigs keep rolling in. So I feel like I'm in the best place I've been musically for a long, long time. And who knows? Who knows where this will end up.
That's great to hear. We were at the George for for the launch. We went, Az and I went to the soft launch too at the post office. And,
Soft launch it was, yeah.
That was an interesting gig. You played great, but I'm not sure the crowd. I think it was a Friday night, the old booze crowd at the post office, and we were shushing people all night. But the George gig, Cuz came to that one as well. My God, the band were just at their straps, weren't they? Yes,
absolutely.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that was super. Yeah,
and the banter on stage with the guys, it's a real brotherhood. It feels like it's a real brotherhood.
Yeah, well, that's what it's turned into, you know, in a really short space of time, which has been great and something that I've needed, you know, from music for a long time as well, and to have that kind of connection and you know, solidarity and support across the board has just been a revelation. And yeah, like every gig just gets better and better. I felt like that soft launch at post office, like we had a great gig there. I mean, I've really missed those kind of, you know, Raised by Eagles started playing gigs that weren't, you know, we sort of weren't getting those pub gigs, or we weren't doing those pub gigs so much anymore. We were just playing ticketed shows, and we were traveling a lot. So it was really good to get back amongst the, you know, the beer spilling, talking pub vibe. It was really fun. The energy was great in the room that night, you know.
Yeah, it was ripper.
I thought that gig that we went to at the George was fantastic, Luke, because I thought watching you with that band, even as you said, you haven't been together that long, just the connection that you had with that group, like you seemed to just really gel really well together, and as a result, played really well together. Did you sort of feel that as you were playing?
Yeah, absolutely. And friends of mine that have been seeing me play gigs for years that have turned up to these have sort of made a point of telling me that the energy just feels really different and really positive, and you know, that banter stuff just comes really naturally because, you know, we're always sort of talking like that amongst ourselves anyway, and it's just really nice to be able to bring it on stage and you know, create a warm connection with the crowd through that kind of, you know, talking to the crowd rather than just through the music, you know, which is something I've never been good at, and I'm finding it a lot easier with this crew. So yeah, I definitely think that, you know, that friendship and that kind of, you know, musical connection that you have just makes all the difference especially when you're playing live, you know, really comes across. And yeah, like I said, it's been a mentally healthy, cathartic experience from top to bottom. So
definitely. Well, I think that's good timing to maybe get you to pick up the guitar, mate, and give us the first song, and then we'll talk a little bit more about you know, what that was really like in lockdown for you, and the release that came from that through this music. So over to you, mate.
Well, I really haven't played acoustic guitar for a long time because it's all electric in this new band, which I'm just loving. But I said to you guys earlier that I was sitting in here today, sort of warming up for this, and it was really nice to get back on this beautiful old girl. So I'll play Paper Boat. You got to imagine these like really, you know, rocking.
Board out on the sea in the center of my telescope. I always had one eye on you. You know I always held out hope that you were gonna be alright. You were gonna be just fine. That I could never turn you around and carry you into the shoreline. We were broken when we came together, bound for nothing to change. you never did cover from it. You just dropped right out of range. Thought you were gonna be alright, that you were gonna be just fine, that I could never turn you around or carry you into the shoreline. And you say there's nothing left to try. Yeah, you say that all the time. I'm always gonna worry for you, some love you can't explain. It cuts as deep as true love do. It's a similar kind of pain, but we can never know what time will bring. We can never break the chain. But what I'd give to shape the state you're in, what I'd give to get you out of the rain. And you say there's nothing left to try. All you ever wanna do is stay high. So I hope that you can find your way back home. I hope that you can do it on your own. Paperboat out on the sea in the center of the hurricane. If you know anything, it's how to hang on. So look at me and tell me again that you were gonna be alright, that you were gonna be just fine, 'cause I could never turn you around or carry you into the shoreline.
There you go, fellas.
Yeah.
Love that.
Excellent, mate.
That's the way to start, mate. Beautiful. Honestly, what a beautiful song, Luke. It's one of my favourites off that album for sure. I've mentioned it to Berkey a few times when we've done a few road trips on the way to gigs and stuff. And I know it's the first one you kind of released, if I'm not correct, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Can't remember. No, the first was
Still two to be
was
released,
track
maybe.
one.
As a single. Yep.
Running on the Wheel we released first, but Paperboat's been getting a good run, which is great because I didn't release it as a single, but it's probably my favourite song on the record, and it's so fun to play live. You know, it's kind of, you know, it's very sort of straight down the line, rock and roll, country rock and roll. But I grew up listening to that music, and I really wanted to write a song like that, you know. And so now I've got one, which I love having in the set because you can really lay into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just tell us a little bit about that song, Luke, and the story with it.
Oh, jeez. It's, I mean, it's, you know, it's whatever it means to anyone else that's listening to it, really. But for me, it was just about, you know, the frustration of somebody that you're connected to for life, for better or worse, through having kids together, really, and then and all that falling apart. But you've got to you still have to sort of maintain your relationship because you'll be connected forever if you have kids with someone. So and when that's not going well, and you know, one of those people is making a mess of things, you know, it's really hard to try and fix that or fix them, you know. So you can really just watch it happen. And this song's just, you know, a bit of bit of an exercise in sort of purging those kind of thoughts. That
Getting through that. It's beautiful, mate. It's real.
Yeah.
It's songwriting is a really cathartic process, and I don't always really know, what it is I'm writing about. I just, it's just it can be a mix of a whole lot of shit that I've been through or stuff that I've seen, and it's all sort of pieced together in these songs just so that I can, like I was saying earlier, it's really just important for my mental health to sort of get this stuff down on paper.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love hearing it, mate.
Yeah, we love the album, and I think it's a perfect title album too. It's obviously a pretty deep album for you, mate, and an album of reflection as well. And it's interesting that it comes through that whole phase of that whole lockdown period. So many people doing it tough during that time, and so many people with social isolation and all sorts of things happened. And mate, that's half the reason it is the sole reason, to be perfectly honest, of why we put this little show together that was supposed to be one episode, and 33 later we're still doing it. And I think it's really great, and I know you kind of connected with it when we kind of told you about the show and what we were doing, and you were pretty keen to kind of jump on and support us as well, so we thank you for that. But lockdown time for a lot of people was really a hard time, and for us to be able to stream different musicians and get into their lounge room and have a chat, and some were, a lot of musicians did different things during that time, obviously. But it's so awesome to hear that, you were able to purge, like you said, a few thoughts and put those on, and for such a positive album to come from that. It's just awesome to hear that you're getting such great feedback from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, mate. I had to do something about, I think mental health is really come to the fore since lockdown, and that, it's been really hard to see friends and just, our community in general really struggle through that. And a lot of us continue to struggle because we've had to sort of reinvent the way we do things. I've discovered CBT. It's cognitive therapy through lockdown. It's really turned things around for me, and I think that has really had something to do with the way that this music and this album's being received. Just because I'm in a much more positive place, or a place where I can really, like, my anxiety before lockdown was out of control, and my anxiety during lockdown was all consuming. So this process, this CBT stuff is just about, it's really just about I don't know, it's about finding evidence for your anxiety and discovering and really challenging why you feel anxious. And once you do that and you sort of can own those emotions and understand them, they don't frighten you anymore, and that's the very definition of catharsis as well, and it's just been super important to find out about that stuff and put it into practice, which hasn't been easy, but it's starting to manifest in ways that aren't even really intentional. Once you do that work, or you start to do that work on yourself and really sort of work on your self-worth and self-esteem, and you have these tools in place to understand your anxiety, it goes away. And then, everything just starts to become much more positive, because you're sort of letting go of these automatic negative thoughts that that run a lot of creative people's lives. we're sort of always looking for a way to sort of get this stuff out. And if you can't, it just can really start eating you up. And so it's really important.
You're not alone there. It seems to be the most creative guys, lots of that we've had on the show, and lots that we know, and the guys that we go and see. What you're giving to us is that same sort of feeling, You're the guys that are going through it, and it's amazing how many extremely talented that creative edge people are anxiety ridden, and going on stage and playing and stuff just kills them. So to you, brother. Good job.
Oh, thanks, Berkey. I think all of us experience anxiety, and we just try and drink it away, or booze was a big one for me, and I'm off it at the moment, which has been really hard. But I can't tell you how much easier it is to think positively when I'm not hungover all the time, And that's just one of you treat all this internal issues with external substances, and it doesn't work. It's just like scratching an itch and making it sore. I mean, it feels great when you scratch it and it goes away, but then it comes back worse than it was before. So if you just leave it alone, i.e. stop drinking, stop scratching that itch, then, it's really hard because you want to scratch it. But if you don't, eventually it heals, the wound heals, and then you're not itchy anymore. So, that's the plan. But I'm not making any promises to myself, or I'm just trying, and I think it's really important for these mental health conversations to be had and to continue, especially in this music industry, because we lost a few great people recently through
Luke,
that kind of shit,
Luke, great to meet you, mate.
You too, mate.
It's really fascinating. There's a lot of similarities to what you've been talking about and what I've gone through, and obviously a few others around us.
Many others, yeah.
Besides music, I mean, have you found other vices you could potentially, like, have you tapped into anything else besides music, for instance, that you would go, wow, I didn't know that was out there. It puts me in a good frame of mind.
Yes, I have.
Because, sometimes you go back to the things that are familiar to you that you could be happy about it. But if they're starting to not even work that well, have there been other things that you've turned to as well that have made you happy? Like, how have you turned this around outside of music?
I hate to keep repeating myself, but cognitive behavioural therapy has turned things around for me and continues to. And it's really simple. It's just about, it's an exercise that I do all the time. Now, I used to write it down, but now I can just do it in my head, and it's like I'll get really anxious or really sad or really depressed, and I can't really put my finger on it. And then, so there's an activating event that makes me feel that way. And then there's the thoughts or the beliefs that I have around that activating event. I'm a piece of shit. Everyone's going to know I'm a piece of shit. I'm gonna screw this up, And so, and then so you're, because of that, you feel super anxious, stressed. You can get angry, and then it's about just going back and trying to figure out what the evidence for those beliefs are. Like, why do you think you're a piece of shit? Why do you think that this is going to fail? Why do you think people are going to feel this way about you? And 9 times out of 10, there's no evidence for that. I just think about all the times I've done it before and it's worked out beautifully, which is nearly every time.
It's an individual thing, right?
Yeah, and so there's no evidence for me feeling like I'm a piece of shit or people are going to think I'm making a fool of myself. And so, then you just come up with a more rational evidence for a more rational thought, and you just apply that thought, and the anxiety just sort of, you can feel it dissipate. I mean, it's not going to work for everyone, but it really works for me. And to have that tool and just to be able to do that every time I feel like I can't do something because of my anxiety, and work through that kind of process, you start to do it automatically, and you start to get much less anxious because it kind of moves from your head into your heart, perhaps, and then it's automatic, So outside of music, sorry, that's a really long answer to your question, but outside of music, really it's my motorbike, my riding down Mary Creek with my headphones in is kind of like meditation for me, because I can listen to a podcast and ride, and I'm not thinking about anything else except what I'm listening to and what I'm saying. So, exercise has been really important for me, along with cognitive behavioral therapy, along with getting off booze. But outside of that, I bought an electric scooter the other day, much to my daughter's disgust. She said they're really uncool.
What would she rather?
She would just rather not. She wouldn't ride anything like that. She just gets around looking cool.
Mate, next week it's a skateboard, all right?
Yeah, I went through that phase too. I couldn't do that anymore. I hurt myself. Believe me, I want to. I tried to go for a roll in lockdown, and I couldn't walk the next day just from rolling around the streets for 10 minutes, So now I've got a skateboard I can just stand on, and it's got a throttle, and you just hoon. It's really fun. So that kind of stuff is, really great for my sort of, mental health and release outside of music. But nothing really lives up to music when it comes to catharsis, Well,
speaking of which, Luke, while you've got that beautiful beast in your hands, can we hear another tune, perhaps? Sorry, Cuz. Sorry, catch up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a music thing. Sorry, I sound like a...
No, it's great. It's good to hear.
This one's called Boots to the Grave. Sorry, man?
No, it's great.
Okay, how's this go?
place anyway. Your boots to the grave.
Love it.
Awesome, Luke.
Killer.
Fantastic, Luke. Really good, mate.
Thanks, fellas.
So, mate, it's great listening to your music, and you the way you sort of sing a song is like you tell a story, which is fantastic, and we all love that with artists. What would be your sort of major influences in your time, mate, that you look back when you first sort of picked up a guitar or really took a liking to music? Who were your sort of main sort of influences and sort of artists that you looked up to and aspired to be, for want of a better word?
No, Dylan.
By all means, say
No,
that,
Dylan came much later. I wasn't ready for Dylan until I was in my 30s. But you know, really, it's just like my family's all sort of Scottish and Irish, and there used to be like Dad always had, you know, it's a classic story, but Dad always had plenty of, you know, commercial 70s country records lying around the house, and I was just obsessed with those even as a little kid. You know, it just seemed so mysterious and poetic to me before I could really even grasp what they were on about. It sounded like magic to me, like a magical place in time that I couldn't really get to, you know, like a dream or something. But there was always sing-alongs, you know. We'd have Dad had friends in town that would come around and bring all their kids around and light a fire, and they'd play, you know, really bad country songs all night. John Williamson and Don Williams, and, and you know, John Denver and all that. And I really just was running around as one of the kids there, but really soaking that up, you know.
Yep.
And then I started playing guitar, but really only because my sister did, and I was like, you know, competitive siblings, and I was like, she's doing that, I'm going to try and do it better. And so she ended up, you know, she stopped playing guitar, but once I picked it up and learned a few chords, that was it. And once I realized you could play those 4 chords, I could play like 100 songs, and I was like, oh man, like I can just do different variations of that turnaround progression, and I can play all those songs I was listening to that Dad had on those records. I was like, oh shit, this is how you do it. I can do it, you know. And so, you know, that was it. And then it was just music from then on, and I just constantly discovering music through friends, older brothers, and you know, I discovered all the great country music through my best friend in high school. His older brother had this tape collection that had, you know, Steve Earle and Townes Van Zandt and all the Willie Nelson stuff and all those, you know, Waylon Jennings and all that outlaw stuff. And it just was like, wow, this is Tom Petty, you know, was a massive influence in my high school days. It still is.
Early Tom Petty, hopefully.
Early Tom Petty?
Hopefully, yeah.
Early Tom Petty is where it's at, yeah. But I love it all. I mean, you know, he's got a million songs, so there's bound to be some misses in there.
Yeah.
But they're mostly hits.
Yeah,
and I love his whole ethos, and he to me is like one of my favorite female performers is Chrissy Hine from The Pretenders, and I reckon that Tom Petty and Chrissy Hine are the same spirit encapsulating different genders. Like they just remind me so much of each other in their approach to music and the way that they deliver songs and the kind of songs that they write, and you know, so
and taking on the establishment as well, and bucking the system, and
Chrissy Hine was a big influence, and so was the Divinals, you know, Chrissy Amphlett. So
talk about
I just
rocking the
thought those
establishment.
two were incredible women. Sorry?
Talk about rocking the establishment.
Yeah. Well, I just thought that those women were really, and I didn't realize how much harder it was for women then. Like I was just listening to the music, so that makes me appreciate them even more. You know, to have existed in a time in music that was just, I mean, it's still full of toxic masculinity, but back then it would have been off the charts. And those women just, you know, broke the mold, and they're some of the greatest rockers ever, I reckon.
Yeah, sure.
Very
got to turn, exactly right. Yeah, true.
So
Can we
just
put you for another one, Luke? Is that okay?
Yeah. What'll I play? How many more do you want me to do, fellas? Will I do a Raised by Eagles song or?
Yeah, let's hear a Raised by Eagles song.
I'll do Falling Through.
Hey,
Beautiful.
When I heard about you, I was in the middle of a song. It took the tune right out of me to know that you were gone. We saw you falling off before you fell through, before something shook the gold right out of you. So much space to fill when you're living between the lines. You are always so hard to reach. I see you at the bar sometimes, but I could never pin you down or find a clear line through. And then something shook the gold right out of you. Gotta keep your motor rolling. Keep your motor moving. There's no way back down through the dust to change your mind. The only thing you're gonna change is who you left behind. Down Jericho Road, we'll all be thinking it through. We'll take a drive, we'll take a drink, and think of you. We'll take a drag and take a drink, and think of you. You gotta keep your motor rolling. Keep your motor.
something like that.
That's great, mate. Really good.
Wish I could do something like that. Fair income.
It's been a while.
That is bloody
Thank
good,
you.
mate. Hey,
Really good, mate.
just a quick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a real quick one. Now, as Aaron mentioned, I've got to get to one of your gigs as soon as possible for the first time. Cuz has been the one. Obviously, Berkey's been a fan of yours
Mate, every
for
time we have a guest on, mate,
many
I like
years.
to ask them, you're having a dinner party, Luke?
Hang on, Cuz. Hang on, Cuz. I'm in the middle of a question, you cheeky bugger.
What's going on? I don't know which question to answer.
No. I'll just take the hard road. You know, I'm just going to ask this question. No. So my question to you would be, obviously you're hitting up pubs and hitting venues again. Is that the sort of thing you reckon you'll probably do over the next 12 months or 2 years? Are you looking to do you typically do bigger, like, sort of, you know, not big day out, but Rochford and all that sort of thing? Are you going to expand all back out to that again, or what's the go for you, Lukey, in terms of what you want to do in the next 12 months and 2 years?
Good question. I have no idea. I mean, you know, I'm just I was so driven with Raised by Eagles, and I worked really hard to sort of get that up and running, and then, you know, keep getting to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And we did do pretty much all the festivals in Australia that for our genre anyway, like Port Fairy and Queenscliff and Out on the Weekend and Big Sound and all that stuff we did. And yeah, you know, it was a lot of work. And so this time around, I just sort of thought I'd throw this to the wind and see what happened. But and I promised myself I wouldn't really try and sort of you know, get too deep into trying to make it a success. I thought it'd be more important to sort of get myself into a good place first. So I've been doing that, and as I mentioned earlier, like, it seems to be affecting the music as well, because this is just, I'm just sort of taking it as it comes, and I wasn't, you know, I'm not going to organise any grand tours or anything like that. But having said that, you know, we're getting gig offers, so who knows? I mean, I wasn't going to press any CDs because I just thought I'll do this digitally, and I'm not going to spend heaps of money and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, behold, this last week I've ordered a bunch of CDs and to get pressed, which I'm really excited about. And I stayed up all night doing the artwork and sending that into Implant and all that stuff that independent artists have to do. And I'm really excited, you know. And I have to thank Berkey all you guys really for lighting a bit of a fire under my ass and making me think I should get some merch together. Because I saw Berkey at what was that last gig? George Lane.
Yeah.
And you know, and you guys made me feel like I really should be getting some merch happening. So thanks for that. And I am. And on Friday, the 25th of April, which is next weekend, we're doing a big one at the Brunswick Ballroom with Fen Wilson. And there it is. Fen Wilson, Madeline Lemant, and Simon Nugent, and Folk Bitch Trio, which is their amazing band trio of young women who are just killing it at the moment and are getting so many gig offers that they're sort of in this position now where they need to start saying, but they can't say no to me because Gracie is my niece in that band. And so she's a very close family. And, you know, I was looking after Gracie when she was a baby. She was like, her and my daughter are like sisters. And just to be playing shows with her now, on seeing her get the same kind of shows at the same venues that that I've been playing for years. It's just been amazing. And so it's going to be very special to have them play at the ballroom.
Bit of full circle stuff, eh?
Yeah, crazy.
Cuz, jump in, Cuz, before you ask yours, Cuz. Can I say, going to sporting analogy again, years and years ago, we're sitting around watching the Arias and we had a few people over. And when you guys come up and you are nominated, we're sitting around the edge of our seats going, come on. And when you just got up and you won that aria, we're just out of our chair. We get a high five, and it was like a grand final for us. So it wasn't wasted, mate. So you gave us a bit of joy there. So.
Yeah, it's been nice to win some awards. Although I think they were Music Vic awards, and having that kind of stuff to validate, your music is invaluable as well. Just to make you feel like, recognized as an independent artist outside of, all the hoops you got to jump through and everything to sort of be signed and really sort of doing it with a team. That stuff's invaluable. It really pumps up your tires, and it's something I'm really proud of, Good
work.
And God love it.
Great work. Mate, every guest we have on the show, Luke, I ask them the same question. I'll ask you the question. Question without notice, so I apologise for that. You're having a dinner party, so obviously you're going. You can invite 5 friends. Who are the 5 people you're inviting? They can be living or dead. It's whoever you want to invite.
So it can be anyone. I would invite Carl Jung, who is my favourite psychologist of previous years. I would invite Chrissy Hind, Tom Petty.
Don't have meat on the egg. Don't have meat then.
Oh, really? Oh my God! I would invite Rick Danko, because that would just really get the party started.
Imagine the harmonies! Wow.
And I would invite. Who else would I invite? So many. I mean, I'd love to have a chat with Neil Young as well.
That's not bad.
None of those people are friends of mine, but I'm sure after dinner, after that night, we'd all be very close.
After they hear this album, Luke, they probably will be, I reckon.
Yeah, thanks, Becky. I hope they get to hear this album. Tom Petty won't.
No, that's good.
I wrote a song when he died that I've never. It's almost, I think I'll record it now that it's been a while. But it was that I was really sad about, about that to a degree that I've never experienced before until John Prine died, and then. Fuck! I should have said John Prine. I want him. I want him. Able.
Yeah. Well, he's your 5th one, mate. You've done
every
it.
night of the week. What's that?
He's your number 5.
He's okay. No, I only said 4. John Prine.
Yep.
Did you know you can can smoke the internet now?
And blow it up anyway.
That thing's
there you go.
Stops the gaspers. Look at that. It's got a. You plug it into your computer, for Christ's sake.
Unbelievable.
That is crazy. Smoke responsibly.
Yes. Well, don't smoke.
Put the disclaimer as.
Yeah, no, all good. All right, Luke. First of all, just before we go to maybe one last one, tell us a little bit about where you're playing next. I know we've got one coming up on the 25th, but what else is in the catalogue, mate? There's a few things coming up here.
Yeah. few more have dropped in since then too. But
Okay.
excited to head up to my old hometown this Friday night. Beechworth Memorial Hall. I think the last time I was there was for the Best and Fairest in 1992. Beechworth Thirds. I won.
Hey.
There you go.
You don't believe me, do you?
No,
Oh, yeah, we've got to drop your name next time we're there. Yeah, right.
No one else ever wants to see this, so I'm gonna. There it is.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Hang on. What does that say? Can you read it?
Not
Oh, I
quite.
can get my
Best and fairest.
Best and Fairest, 1992.
gosh.
So that was the last time I was at the Beechworth Memorial Hall, and so now I've returned. I'm going to return and play a dinner and show there with the band. So that's going to be
You're
special.
conquering.
When you go back, mate, I reckon just put the trophy beside you on stage.
Yeah, I should. I try and show the family, and they don't want to. Like yeah. And then and then we're going to do this big one at Brunswick Ballroom. Really excited about that. Simon Nugent and the Capes are one of my favourite bands, and Fen Wilson's killing it, and Madeline Lehman is just Lehman. Sorry, Maddie. I think it's Madeline Lehman is just about to release a record, or she has released a record, and they're a powerhouse. They're really fun band to watch. So it's going to be a great night. And then I don't know, what are we doing after that? What's that say? Oh, Belbray. Yeah, that's one down on the Surf Coast, which is going to be really fun. Major Tom's is always fun. That's in Kyneton. Beautiful, beautiful bunch of people that work there.
Yeah, their last week was great.
Yeah, Rob Jones is an absolute legend. He used to own Movie Reel. Remember Movie Reel?
Yeah, they're on.
Down on Westgarth. That was his.
Yeah.
So, it's always great talking about movies with Rob. And then we're at the Northcote Social Club, which is going to be a classic. And then we're doing Winter Sounds Festival. Yeah, there it is. Look at that lineup.
Yeah, that's
I'm over the moon. And the Riverboats Music Festival crew are my other favourite. They're probably my favourite festival crew. They're just amazing to work with, and they just really look after you well. And they're always great events. That's one about sort of getting live music up into regional Victoria, and that's what they're all about. And that's really important, And they're always really.
Is that Justin Luke? Is that Rudgy?
No, Rudgy's on Port Fairy Folk Festival now.
I knew that. Yeah, I knew one. Yeah.
Yeah, but just for the people at home, that's Justin Rudge. He's like a man about town in the music business and used to manage Raised by Eagles and did an amazing job for us. So he it's David Fraser and his crew. Yeah, great bunch of people. And there's something else that I'm forgetting. But anyway, I'll put them all up.
The thing I'm worried about the most on that last one is the 16th, the 18th of July. It's a smack bang in the middle of winter, so I might have to get the old VB mittens out. Still drink even if it's 5 degrees and piss and rain. But
it is called Winter Sounds.
That's the only thing that would concern me, just remotely. I don't think it'll fuss me. But anyway, that's all right.
Yeah.
Get the jacket on.
Rug up. We're going to light a fire on stage.
Oh, good.
Absolutely, you are.
We'll be cooking.
And we can't go without promoting, obviously, the new album, mate, Heavy Dreams. If you haven't found it or want to know where to get it, other than at a gig, you can look up Luke on the Bandcamp and make sure you get a copy. Most importantly, because it's going to get a bit of airtime, it's going to get a bit of radio, and we're definitely massive fans. So can't wait to see you at the next gig, Luke.
Get in your ear.
I can't wait to see you guys there. It's always great to see you at gigs. Kind of settles me down a bit. to know that there's some real steadfast support out there in the crowd. So I really appreciate everything you guys have, the support that you've offered the band and everything that you're doing for music in this town and beyond. It's very important stuff. So keep going, fellas.
That's nice to hear. Thanks, mate. Nice to hear.
Nice, thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Just before you play your last one, mate, I was just wanted to mention a couple of gigs coming up that not only yours, but just a gig. How I bet you can't wait to see this kind of crowd at a venue again. This was the first opening of the April Sun gig, which is a series of gigs obviously coming up in St Kilda and a massive opportunity with festivals. And this is really one of the first big pushes with numbers out there again. And great to see the first one's gone off without a hitch out in this stage in St Kilda, and it'll be unbelievable. So look forward to getting down there this week. Berkey and I will be there. Don't worry. You and I back on stage, which is awesome. This is a huge lineup. Magic Dirt, Dallas Crane, and the Casanovas. So this is going to be a big one. This
Turning
Thursday.
back the clock.
Absolutely.
Turning back the clock. That was the stuff that was blowing my mind when I came to Melbs.
Well, feel free to get a ticket, Luke, and join us there, mate. We'll be there. Call, mate. We'll look after you.
Yeah, I'd love to. See how I go.
Absolutely. And then obviously this Wednesday night, Berkey and I are going to do the road trip down to Archie's Creek for Polyman and UMI. That'll be huge too, sold out, which is another great gig. Polyman, who we had on the George on the show 2 weeks ago, was super to have. What a talent.
How good. How
Must
good
be
are
really
those
exciting for you, Luke, seeing some of these young talents come up as well, both in any music scene, but just music's alive and well, no doubt. And it's going to be awesome to have venues, and most importantly, venues opening capacities. Most importantly, with a good mate of ours, Rusty from Electric Mary, on at the corner this weekend, this Saturday night. So there's plenty of gigs on. The hard part, Luke, to be honest, is getting to them all. For choice at the moment.
I think music is in very good hands. It's just been amazing. A bit confronting because it's like I remember the Wilson boys when they were little kids because I've known Sarah for years, and now they're just like hot property, and they're just killing it, And they're so good, and it's so good to see. And not only that, it's like Folk Bitch Trio has Jeannie Pilkington in it, who's Craig and Barb's daughter, Craig Pilkington. It's just awesome. It's awesome to see those. I don't want to say kids. It makes me sound old.
And when you see go and see Polyman, and you've got a talent like Fenn sitting there playing drums, doesn't sing, doesn't do backup vocals, and you're going, get out from behind the drum kit there, Fenn. But his own stuff's bloody tremendous too. So amazing.
That's just amazing to see that. I love, what a beautiful family, and what what an absolute joy it is seeing them blossom, into these amazing musicians in their own right. As everybody knows, Chris was a powerhouse and is dearly missed. And they are just, it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
You're right.
Watch them progress,
We're going to have to knock this on the head, Luke. It's supposed to go 45 minutes, so we're way over time. But it's been great chatting to you, mate. Love it.
Yeah. I felt like we were just shooting the breeze. So thanks, everyone out there that sort of sat through all that. And let's democratize mental health across the board and make it accessible. This shit should be taught to us in high school.
Bloody oath, exactly right.
Yeah. And just on that, Luke, I really want to thank you for being so open with us, mate, to be perfectly honest. That you feel comfortable enough to talk about that with us, and that's what we want to do. That's why we created this show. We've got a couple of people coming on from different charities in the next couple of months talking pretty much mental health. So mate, we really thank you for being so open with what we discussed tonight.
Well, play us out, great man. Let's hear something.
But it's, yeah, I mean, it's made such a difference to me. So it's important stuff. What am I going to do? I'll do a cover song. I'll do an Evan Dando song.
Always had a roof above me, always paid the rent, but I never set foot inside a tent. Couldn't build a fire to save my life. I lied about being the outdoor type. And I never slept out underneath the stars. Closest that I came to that was one time my car broke down for an hour in the suburbs at night. And I lied about being the outdoor type. Scared to let you know I knew what you were looking for. I lied until I fit the bill. God bless the great ignored. I lied about being the outdoor type. I never owned a sleeping bag, let alone a mountain bike. Yeah. And I can't go away with you on a rock climbing weekend. What if something's on TV and it's never shown again? It's just as well I'm not invited. I'm afraid to hide, and I lied about being the outdoor type. I never learned to swim, can't grow a beard or even fight. And I lied about being the outdoor type. Thanks a lot, guys.
Luke Sinclair.
Thanks for having me.
Luke, you're a champion, mate.
Lots of love, brother.
See you guys on Friday.
Look
Yeah,
forward
Great to meet you, mate. It's fantastic.
See you, mate. Have a great night.
Bye, everyone.
See you, buddy.
How good was that, guys? So good to have Luke with us. We cannot wait to beat his next gig. And just a little final note on just where to get. And that's where you get it. Bandcamp, or most importantly, get to a gig. Now that Luke's got CDs, we need to buy them. So let's get there.
Keep delivering this show, you blokes. Well done.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks for telling us about Luke, most importantly. A little while ago now, Berkey. It's been awesome. And thanks for coming on, mate. We really appreciate it.
No, proud to be part of it. Well done, boys.
You're welcome anytime, Berkey.
Nice.
Enjoy.
In depth. See you, mate.
See you, boys.
Lots of love.
Have a great night.
See you guys. See you Friday.
Done.